Guys liking the videos has kind of helped us start to grow the channel even more, so we appreciate it. To those who have not, please, we ask you, hit the like button before you even watch this video. It helps us grow the channel, helps people learn about us, and allows us to make more great content like this. So that's all we got. Thank you for helping us grow this channel. Hit the like button right now, and on with the show. All right, let's go.
Word.
We're here. Super duty tough work. The most infamous podcast on planet Earth.
What up?
Once again, back in the building.
Word.
How you doing today, Mr. Illogic?
I'm good, man.
Yeah. So you streamed last night.
Yeah, just play some beats
something light, you know what I mean?
Yeah, something light, just a little something. You know what I mean? I just thought, because I be neglecting Instagram. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It caught me off guard. I was like, oh, you on Instagram? Okay.
Yeah. I be neglecting the gram. So like, I just thought, because I didn't feel like setting my camera up and all that last night.
Yeah.
I had my phone out. I was already listening to records and stuff. Yeah. And I was listening to beats anyway. I was like, I might as well just stream this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, why not? You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just, a little something. The quick and dirty. You know what I'm saying? Using my little interface.
I know. I saw that.
You know?
Yeah. It caught me. I didn't get to listen to it. It snuck up on me. It's like, oh, this man's going on Instagram live.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was on here. I know he'd be doing the YouTube and the Twitch and all the other platforms. But that's dope. Yeah, I feel like pulling up doing something like that soon too. Sometimes you just want to just share some stuff, man. You know, especially how it is. We do beats. We be doing beats all day, and cats don't even really hear them.
Right.
They just hear the album, but they don't be hearing everything else that we make. So
yeah, because the album is what, 10 beats? 12.
That's
you
it.
know what I'm saying?
Out of 150.
Yeah, you didn't make 500 beats that year.
Right.
And they hear 12.
It's crazy when you think about it that way, though.
Yeah.
Like, y'all are literally hearing like less than 1% of the joints. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. But we're here. Podcasting, doing a thing. It's been an interesting week. Rest in peace to DMX.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Yeah, hey, he left behind his legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Very loved.
Yes.
You cannot question that. That man was loved by the people. And so, as we, say our condolences, we should also think as, artists, creators, like, what are we leaving behind?
Yeah.
What do we want people to say about us when we gone?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's when you find out, you live an honorable life, you live a life where you help and inspire others. Maybe you'll get your flowers to the degree that DMX has been getting, because he's far from perfect.
Right.
But that is something that seems to endear people to him.
And it seems like he was, like, to people that know him, he's just a good dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it seemed. That's what the consensus is. You know what I mean? That he was just a good, genuine, imperfectly real dude.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
And aren't we all?
Right.
That right there.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is.
Right.
Motherfuckers pretend to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
They pretend to have it all figured out. But they don't,
Mm-hmm.
Which is a good segue into today's topic,
Right.
Which is avoiding perfectionism. This is something we've danced around, talked about at a high level.
Mm-hmm.
But the more we do topics, the more we tend to touch on that perfectionist thing, because we are artists. We're rappers. We also produce. We also mix our records.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, sometimes we even be coordinating our art.
Yeah.
We put together our promotional campaigns. We be shooting music videos.
Yep.
Update the websites.
Mm-hmm.
Designing flyers.
Yeah.
It's easy to become a perfectionist when you have your hands in so many different things.
Right.
And so this episode is about avoiding perfectionism. We got 10 crazy bullet points full of things that you should keep in mind and that should help you get out of that counterproductive habit of trying to make everything perfect. And so, yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today. And we'll take a break and we'll be right back.
Word.
We got you stuck off the realness, the most infamous, you heard of us. Official podcast murderers, the show comes equipped with viewpoints to share. Grown man ideas for all those who care and want to grow, so go ahead and download. Every single week with a brand new episode. You're not alone in this world, cousin, so we share information and honest discussion and keep repping a culture like we supposed to. They spread gossip, but they never come close to. I can hear it inside their tone. They talk about the industry, but never left their home. You get laced up with bullet points and such, plus empowering topics that they never would touch. You can put your whole network against the team, but Super Duty Tough Work's the MVP. Most valuable podcast on MP3. Priceless info, but all of it's free. So take these words home and think them through. Super Duty Tough Work is coming at you. You are now listening to Super Duty Tough Work with your host, Blueprint. Raw and uncut. Adult conversations. No shucking, no jiving, and no bullshit.
All right, let's get back to the show. All right, folks, we are back. Super Duty Tough Work. We're talking about avoiding perfectionism. For all of you people who harp on being perfect, let me tell you, you're not.
No, you never will be.
No. It will never be perfect. So we're going to talk about, how to avoid this thing. Okay, so number one tip to avoid perfectionism is to compromise with yourself.
Yeah.
You see, what we do in life is we're used to compromising with everybody else. What you want and what I want, and then I meet you halfway.
Right.
What they want and what we want, and we'll meet in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Split the difference.
Yeah.
All these sayings about compromise, you got to give a little to get a little.
Right.
Scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't do that when it comes to our own shit. Why we compromise everybody on everything else except when it comes to our stuff?
Because we don't think about compromise with ourselves. It's all like there's no gray area when we deal with ourselves.
Black and white.
It's all black and white. Either it's good or it's not. Either it's happening or it's not. We don't give ourselves no gray area.
No, we're terrible negotiators with ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, yo, why you so inflexible when you negotiate with yourself?
Yeah.
Why you can't compromise with yourself? Look, the reason we are perfectionists and the reason for perfectionism is so damaging is because we refuse to compromise with ourselves. Yeah. We refuse to create a goal and then start working towards it and then realize, hey, man, maybe I'm not going to get everything I want. But what are the most important things I need to get out of this?
Yeah.
Can I just get those top three?
Mm-hmm.
If I can get those top three, I'm good.
Like, I'm sure you've gone through this with like album campaigns and stuff. Like, you have this big plan, so this grandiose, like, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this. And then you start getting close. You're like, well, if I could just
every album.
Right. If I could just knock these 2 or 3.
That's it. Just these big things.
Yeah, these major things. Not that list of 50 that I had,
right.
2 years ago when I started this.
Oh, my God. Yeah, every album is an exercise in compromising with myself.
Yes.
Because the campaigns that be in my head,
word.
Man, they be elaborate than a motherfucker. Like, yo, you want to do all of that to roll this record out? Yeah. You want to do that kind of video? You want to have this? You want to do this kind of promo item for it? And then you start looking up what it costs. You're like, oh.
Right. Well, maybe if I just
let me compromise with myself. Let's split the difference.
Right.
Let's meet halfway. Mm. Oh, we start getting into that compromising language.
Yeah.
And that helps me avoid the trap of perfectionism because you always
should be able to compromise with yourself as if you're somebody else, man.
Right.
But what we do as artists is the opposite. We compromise with everybody else, and then we be inflexible with ourselves.
Yeah.
We be on some Gestapo shit when it comes to our own goals. Like, no,
Right.
this way or it's over. You gonna do it. And then what you do is you have this thing in your head and you just follow it and chase it, and you put it at the top of your list for years and years, sometimes decades, because you have not learned to compromise with yourself. And compromise means that you have to give up some things that were in your vision in order to achieve the thing as a whole.
Right.
It means you can't have everything, man.
Yeah. And it's hard, man. It's hard as artists. Yeah. It's hard. Especially if the things that you want don't necessarily involve money.
Yes.
So you know what I mean? So you feel like you're able to actually accomplish them, but sometimes it's like you don't have the time.
Mm-mm.
You don't have the patience. You might not even know how to do it.
You gotta learn how to do it.
Yeah, like you gotta learn shit. Like it gets difficult in those times.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's the wild one. So like if you sit at home and you struggle with being a perfectionist, ask yourself, are you compromising with yourself, man?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you being inflexible with yourself, and are you willing to work with everybody else but you?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If so, change that approach, man. That's number one. Number two tip to avoid perfectionism is that you got to accept that nobody cares like you care.
It's your baby.
It's
like your kid. Like nobody gonna take care of your kid like you gonna take care of your kid.
Yeah. Until your kids turn 15 and you realize they assholes.
Right.
Then you be like,
go. You get out.
Yeah, my kid ain't shit. But they mine.
Yeah, but they mine. So
they not perfect. Yeah. It take parents, 10, 15 years to realize their kids ain't perfect.
Right.
You little fuck up. But prior to that, you be expecting them to be perfect little angels,
Yeah.
Same thing for our work, man. Creatively, it's the same thing. Yes, there are children, but just like real children, they're not perfect.
Right.
They have flaws. They have short-sightedness. They're going to fuck up. They don't get it all right. But, that doesn't mean that they can't go out into the world and do some cool shit.
Right. They can still be productive members of society.
Right. And no one cares about your little kids and your agenda like you care about them.
Right.
We tend to tell ourselves like, oh man, people know how much work I'm putting into this shit. So they know that.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
They have no idea, and they don't care.
No, if they knew, they wouldn't give a shit.
They wouldn't care as long as it's good. If you give them something dope, that's all they care about.
Yeah.
They don't care if it took you 10 years, if it took you 5 minutes. Mm-mm. They don't give a fuck. If it's good, it's good. If it's not, it's not.
No, they don't think. They don't listen to the album thinking, man, I know how much work he put into this. Mm-hmm. They just think, does it bump?
Right.
Does it slap?
Right. Right.
If it don't slap, what else you got?
Mm-hmm.
And we be sitting here trying to be perfect so hard. And what you have to understand about music, this is specifically for artists out there, is that music, it's an emotional thing. It's an emotional thing. It's not math.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's not engineering. It's not this art form where X plus Y always equals Z.
Mm-hmm.
You got a lot of moving parts. You got culture that's moving. You got technical things that's moving. You have audiences who's unpredictable in it. And music, it appeals to people's emotion and their feeling and something deep inside of them. Music is not strictly an exercise in listening. You know what I mean? Like people be listening with their fucking ears, artists, but like people, fans, they be listening with their heart. You know what I mean? That shit hits their heart.
Mm-hmm.
You can't quantify that. That will never be perfect.
All right.
And it kind of like, as we spoke about with the DMX thing, he was imperfect in a motherfucker.
Yeah. Publicly imperfect.
Publicly. No one had any fucking shock about his life or how he died. Because we all saw how he lived.
Right.
He was imperfect. But the way he told his story was perfectly human. And so people don't care about all the little technical bells and whistles as long as you're human enough for them to feel it.
Right.
Never get rid of that part of your art. Leave that human part in there.
Yeah. Imperfection is human.
Yeah.
Perfect is not human.
So why are we going through all of this shit?
I don't know.
To remove the thing that makes it human in the first place.
Right.
It don't make no sense, right?
None at all.
So yeah. So that's number 2. Nobody cares like you do. Tip number 3. Focus on done, not perfect. You know what gets you hyped about doing music? Finishing music.
Right. Yes.
You know what gets you hyped about playing a show? Having a new album done. You know what gets you excited about doing interviews? Having a new album to talk about.
Yeah.
You know when you're least excited about it? When your shit ain't done.
Yeah.
When you ain't got nothing new. When you've been sitting on the same record and project forever. Yo, man, if you focus on perfect, you almost take your eyes off of what this shit is really about, man.
Yeah.
Like there is a thing that finishing something can do for your confidence that the idea of perfect cannot.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And those of you who work every day and you have like these to-do lists, and you know what it feel like when you scratch an item off that to-do list. That shit feel great, especially if it's been there a while.
Yeah, feels really great.
Like, let's go. Like, look, I'm about a week away from finishing this next book. Next Friday, I'm about to be walking around the house like, let's fucking go. Let's go. To myself.
Flexing in the mirror.
Yeah, to myself. No shirt on.
Right.
My inner dialogue is so fucking Godzilla. You know what I mean? My inner dialogue is straight up King Kong. You know what I mean?
That's funny.
Like my outward persona is chill, but my inner dialogue, that shit is Thor Ragnarok, man. My shit can't be. You can't tell me shit. But that's because I focus on done.
Right.
Is my book perfect? Nope.
Yeah.
Have any of them been perfect? Nope.
Yeah.
Would they ever be?
You probably wouldn't ever put them out if you were trying to get them perfect.
I still be
working on them.
I still be proofreading.
You still be working on Word is Blog.
The first one, I'm still I'm still thinking about putting out this book. We like 9 years. Like this dude still talking about thinking about putting out a book. He done wrote the book 18 times.
That's funny.
You know, Adventures book. None of that stuff would have came out, man. But I focus on done, and I think that is a way you avoid perfectionism. Here's the thing about perfectionism: is like you're judging your work off of something that don't even really exist, and is impossible to quantify. Because let's say you feel your album is perfect, that's just a temporary feeling. You know what I mean? Like, what happens if it comes out and it ain't well received?
Right.
Or what happens if it don't come out? Okay, you got something you think is perfect, and it's just sitting to the side. Are you getting more excited every day? No. You need something that's measurable.
Right.
Done.
Right. Yes.
Measurable. Now we can move forward to the next phase. But if you focus on this perfection thing, it's like a carrot that you never, ever reach. It's dangled in front of your head. You chase it around forever. Perfect, only to find out in the end that you're not done and perfect don't exist.
And the problem is that your idea of perfect is not everybody's idea of perfect.
No.
So whether it's perfect to you or not, it's not going to be perfect to the next man. So if you're searching for this idea of perfection, perfection is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
So it really in the long run, don't nobody care what you think perfect is.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, as
Yeah.
long as stuff is done and it's done to the best of your ability, that's all you can really ask of yourself.
Yeah.
You can never be perfect.
No. And to add on to that, people ultimately want to know, does what you created do what they needed to do?
Yep, for them. Yep.
Yeah, for them.
Mhm.
This is very selfish. It's not about you. It's about, okay, yeah, that's perfect for you.
Right.
Now, for me as a person who's going to consume that piece of art, who's going to experience it, does it take me where I want to go?
Right.
Because you might have been able to take me there without all this perfect shit. I might not even need that because my expectation is different, right? But yeah, focus on done, not perfect. That's number 3. Okay, let's do number 4 real quick. And number 4 is a very important way to avoid perfectionism, and that is to set deadlines.
Yes. And stick to them.
Stick to them. Stick to them. A lot of times, you know how it is. We be finishing record. It's done when I say it's done.
Mm-hmm.
It's done when I'll know when it's done.
Your 8th mix of
Yeah.
the intro.
I don't know.
even got no vocals on
None.
it. Don't even got no vocals on it.
Ain't even trying. Just trying to perfect the beat. And it, like, okay, before I do something to it,
Right.
it gotta be. Then you do this shit for months,
Yeah.
weeks, years.
Yeah.
But you have these deadlines, and it's like, yo, man, this is too open ended.
Mm-hmm.
It's too open ended. I tell you, you want some motherfuckers, and I really think a lot of artists suffer from this. The open ended deadlines create excuses and laziness.
Exactly.
Whereas we know how it is. We talked about it last week about how I used to procrastinate on my tests in college because sometimes I felt I wasn't as challenged, and I would subconsciously create a challenge. Look, setting a deadline will light a fire under your ass.
Yep.
Like you wanna get the best out of yourself. Put a time limit on your shit. I bet you all these ideas that you thought you had to wait and that had to come to you, they gonna come to you faster.
Right.
You know, so the open-ended shit just does not work. I get it if you're just learning your craft, but what's wrong with saying this record got to be done within 90 days?
Mm-hmm.
I got to at least have this recorded by this summer,
Right.
because I want it to come out end of the year, and then that gives
so
me.
I gotta be done. I gotta be done.
Gotta
It's
be
not
done.
gonna be perfect. I gotta be done.
Gotta be done.
Gotta be done.
And when you set that deadline, and you know this hell or high water, this shit is happening.
Right.
And if it happens, then I don't have to sit around and try to get motivated and inspire myself and take 3 months off for no reason,
Mm-hmm.
and then finish it when I feel like it. There's nothing lighting a fire under your ass.
Right.
No urgency. Set deadlines, man. And look, I don't tell people to set deadlines with the belief that everybody gonna make the deadline. I know,
Right.
I know damn well y'all not gonna make the motherfucking deadline every time.
Mm-hmm.
But just like we saw with the 90 days of discipline, it wasn't that we got everything done at the end of 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
It was that we committed to working on it to try to get it done by the end of the 90 days.
Yeah.
And in doing so, we were way further than we ever would have been had we just left it open-ended.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. It gives you some motivation to
Yes.
work. You know, even if you don't reach the deadline, you're going to be a lot farther if you give yourself a deadline by that time, whether you're done or not.
Yep.
You'll be much further because you gave yourself a goal to shoot for and a time frame to get things done.
Facts.
Otherwise, you just, you'll be chipping away at it forever.
Forever, which just contributes to this whole perfectionist shit. When you commit to a date, it's committing to a deadline is shifting your mindset from saying, I'll finish this when it's perfect, to saying, I'm going to do my best. And during this period, and whatever I have during this period, I'll know it's my best because I put everything into it. And even if I don't finish it, I know I went 100%. There ain't no regrets. And that's what I'm committed to try to make this date. But perfection just leaves you, what the fuck? There's no incentive to finish the shit.
Right. because it's never going to be perfect. So you don't have that.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have that kind of finishing idea.
No.
It's just, well, it ain't, this don't sound like I want it to sound yet. So,
yeah.
you know,
we'll keep working.
it's stupid.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, so that's number 4. Okay. Yeah. We'll take a break and we'll be right back.
While I got y'all here, let me remind y'all about a few things we got back in stock on waitlist.net right now. First being the King No Crown movie DVD. This is a double DVD, deluxe DVD. One DVD, first DVD is the movie. Second is all the extra features. That's back in stock. It was out of stock for a while. My movie, this is my first movie, came out in 2017. Free version, which is the clean versions on YouTube. This is the unedited version, dirty version, I guess, if you will, which is available now on waitlist.net. Other thing, 10 Traits of Successful Hip Hop Artists. This book came out about 2 to 3 months ago. So my latest book. This book breaks down the habits, the traits that you see across some of the dopest artists in hip hop. This is my 4th book. And so far, it's been my most successful. Amazing feedback on it. This book is here. If you missed out the first time, it's like $14 on the store plus shipping. We got deals that come with bookmarks with it, free stickers, autographs, all of that stuff on waitlist.net. That's in stock. Other thing, more importantly, we've reissued the Two-Headed Monster vinyl. This vinyl is it was red on the first pressing. This next pressing is yellow. This is just now hitting. So if you haven't got it, head to waitlist.net and get it. Sold out the first time in like 2-3 months. It's doing pretty good this time, but get it if you missed it the first time. It's on yellow vinyl. Comes with a download card. Also being restocked, has been reimpressed, is the Two-Headed Monster vinyl right here. Clear vinyl, Two-Headed Monster album. Same thing. This sold out pretty fast in 2018. So we just repressed it here. But you can get that at waitlist.net. And there's prices, special bundle prices for all of this stuff. Now, what's already been in stock, which you probably already have if you don't, just so you don't know, King No Crown. King No Crown vinyl. It's red vinyl. King No Crown is double vinyl though. 2 pieces of double vinyl. But yeah, that's here. That's the record with Persevere on it. Dope record. Great Ideas Never Dies on this record as well. But that's here. And then the last thing, which some of you may have or may not, is Vigilante Genesis EP, which is me and Aesop Rock on the production. This is available on vinyl too. But this one is blue vinyl. I ain't gonna open this up just to show you blue vinyl. Trust me, it's blue. But this comes with all the vocal tracks on one side and the instrumentals, which are produced by Aesop Rock on the B side. So that's it. If you got this stuff already, thank you. If you don't, if you want to support, go to waitlist.net. Pick up your copy of any of these things on vinyl, any of the books, the movie. We have apparel as well. And thank you for your time. See y'all soon. Peace.
Super duty, tough work. Blueprint, Illogic. We here doing the podcast thing. Once again, this week we talking about perfectionism, avoiding perfectionism. All you artists out there, this for you. We done heard your complaints.
Yeah.
We done heard your excuses. And we know y'all got an excuse or a reason for everything.
Right.
And a lot of it ties back to this episode, avoiding perfectionism. And so we got 4 down. Let's talk about number 5. Number 5 tip for avoiding perfectionism is to trust outside opinions.
Yes, this is big.
Yeah, you spoke about this last week, and I made a mental note of it because you were talking about how, like, if it weren't for the people that you trusted when you're creating, telling you that it's good enough,
right,
then you would probably just keep going too far sometimes.
Yes.
And it made me see that, like, a lot of the reason we are allowed to be perfectionists is because we don't open the process up to other people.
Right.
We don't have a trusted circle of people who are just like, yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
And don't care whether you switched out the hi-hat. You know what I mean?
Right.
They don't care whether you got phase on that snare or not. They don't care if your snare is mixed 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock. They don't notice that shit.
They don't care. Do it sound good?
Yeah, hey, this shit sounds good. You'll play them 3 mixes prior to that. Like, yeah, shit sounds good. Yeah, sounds great. You be like, you don't notice the big difference between mix number 1 and 3? You don't hear the low end presence? How it's like not bleeding into the kick? Never mind.
Yeah, they're like, well, the first mix sounded good, and this one sounds good. I don't know what you want me to do.
Yeah, what do you want? What are you looking for?
I don't know what you want me to do. I was talking about this last night, and this was interesting last night when I was playing beats on Instagram. There was one beat that I played, and I said, even like as the loop started, I was like, oh, I hate these drums. And as the beat playing, people like, what are you talking about? These drums are dope. I was like, well, you know, maybe I'll just keep the drums. If the people like the drums,
the drums are staying.
The drums got to stay. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't matter what because, you know, once I put it out, it's not mine anymore.
See there?
You know, like once I put it out, it's for them it's for the people to enjoy. Even though I'm going to enjoy my music, but it's for the people to enjoy. That's the whole reason that we put the music out in the first place.
Yes.
It's not for us anymore. Like once it's done and it's released, it's for the people. And if they like it, then your opinion about the snare could go kick rocks, bro. It don't matter.
It's true. It's true. It's true. So if you sitting at home, man, like my advice to you, do you have a circle? Do you have people who you trust when you just send them something and be like, yeah, this is it? Or I think it'd be a little tighter. You should tighten that up. If you don't have that circle, form that circle.
Yeah.
Find some people. You might find some artists who are interested in doing that with you. Forming a new circle. Like, oh yeah, we never really did that before, but yeah, we send demos to each other and let each other know what we think about it because we are fans of each other and we can be honest with each other like that. Form it because you need those voices. I'm not a fan of letting people into your creative process from the beginning, but I am a fan of once your idea is solid and it's then letting people in to let you know what they think, you know, and oftentimes, like you're saying, they know the shit that we've been second guessing on and they confirm certain shit and they're not tripping like we tripping. They have a completely different set of expectations. Yeah. So that's number 5. Number 6 tip to avoid perfectionism is assume improvement. And by this, I mean, one of the things that makes people or allows people to continuously be perfectionists is this subconscious belief that if you just keep working and you keep working, that you'll just get better and better. And that anything you create now is not going to be as good as what you created, you know, or it's not gonna be as good as what you create a year from now. And it'll be better than anything you did 2 years ago.
Which is true. It should be true.
Yeah. But also that's not reason to sit on it.
Right.
That's actually the reason you should put it out.
Exactly.
Because yes, it's understood. You're supposed to be better tomorrow than today.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be better today than 2 years ago.
Right.
Right? People use that as a built-in excuse to where they're chasing this idea. And then ultimately what they do is because they haven't put anything out, they haven't shared their work, they look at their old work and say, well, my old work is no good because I'm better now.
But nobody knows but you.
And nobody shit, Sherlock. Knows. You're supposed to
there's
be.
There's no measuring stick.
None.
There's no measuring stick.
Exactly. It's like, yo, put the shit out, dummy. Put it out. Of course you're better today than 2 years ago.
Right.
That doesn't mean any of it's perfect.
Right.
And the shit that, and the same thing that makes you scared to put out your shit that you just did today or you did a year ago is the same thing that's going to make you scared to put out what you're doing now a year from now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're chasing some bullshit that's very counterproductive. Doesn't make any sense, man.
I'm better than I was last year, but next year though, I'm gonna be killing cats though next year.
Meanwhile, like you're saying, none of this shit has come out.
None of it. Nobody knows. Nobody knows but you
Yeah.
if you're improving or not. And you really don't know if you're improving because, like I said before, the stuff is for the people to decide.
Yes, not for you.
So if the people ain't telling you improving, you don't know if you're getting better or worse.
You don't.
You know, as the artist, you always think your next shit is your best shit.
Yep. And sometimes you're wrong.
Sometimes it ain't. Yeah, sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes it's not. The people will tell you that nah, that shit you put out before though. That last time you was at the mic, yeah, you had it. This shit right here, you missing the mark, bro. Yeah.
Mad regular.
Yeah.
Some Reggie out here. Okay, so that's number 6.
Yeah.
Number 7 tip for avoiding perfectionism is that windows aren't open forever. I'm referring to the window of opportunity that every artist has. I hate to break this to y'all. Yes, I've had a career that's been 20 years. Logic's put out records for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the norm.
No.
That's the exception.
No. Yes, very much so.
That's the exception, man.
And if we didn't have drive, like, we wouldn't have been doing this.
No.
There's been many a reason to stop throughout these 20 years of us doing this. And shit, I did stop for 5 years.
Yeah. You took a break.
Yeah, I took a long break.
You went back to school, got jobs, had children.
Yeah.
I've been running straight through this motherfucker. Like,
right. I took a break because I was like, I don't know if I can do this shit.
yeah. And I think people tend to think, and even us as people have had 2-decade-long careers, even us, we have had periods that were bigger than others.
Right.
Periods that were more successful than others. We've had, I've had damn near roller coaster rides where I was up, I was down, back up, steady, down a little, back up. Look, man, this is part of it. But I tell you one thing, the only reason I'm here is because when my window opened, I ran through that motherfucker.
Yeah.
When the door opened, I jumped through that motherfucker like a stunt man, like with the whole roll and shit, and rolled in like, you know what I mean?
Right.
The
right.
fireman's
like,
roll.
I'm here.
Yeah, I'm here. Glass everywhere. That's what I did. I didn't sit around and think, well, you know what, man? Maybe next year. I ain't gonna try that. I'm gonna leave that alone, and I'll just keep doing it. I know this is a good, decent opportunity, but unless I have a guarantee that shit's gonna work out, I'm just gonna keep working.
Right.
I didn't do that. I said, you know what? This might be it. I don't know if shit's gonna align like this in the future. So I just took my window of opportunity and capitalized on it. I didn't assume it would be there tomorrow.
Right.
And I think that underlying a lot of this perfectionism is the assumption that windows are open forever.
Yeah. Nah.
And when you talk to older artists, you quickly find out that's not true. You got people who had opportunities to do a lot of big things, who were around at special moments of time, whether it was the sound of the culture, whether it was local scenes and things like that. But sometimes things changed to no fault of their own. And their opportunity, their window was gone.
Right.
You know, like think about the uniqueness of Columbus in the early 2000s with like Bernie's. At one point, Bernie's was the whole hip hop scene.
Yes.
Like everybody went to Bernie's every Sunday.
Yeah. Everybody who was anybody.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to start popping, you had to be at Bernie's.
Had to be there.
Had to.
You could not make nothing crack. We weren't playing at any other venues then. The scene was confined to really one location. Crews were born there.
Right.
Like think about how incredible it was to watch Spitball play Bernie's down back in those days.
Man, come on.
Prism and Spitball used to murder it.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to play after them back then.
Nah, that was the whole nother animal, man.
Like we were bigger nationally, but locally,
yeah,
they used to
Spitball was just
smoke shit.
They were gods, man.
Yeah. But what happened when the scene changed?
Right.
Within 3-4 years, Bernie's kind of shut down. That scene changed. It moved away from that area. The crowd started changing.
Yeah.
and their record didn't come out when it was supposed to, right? Their album got delayed 3, 4, 5 years. Things beyond their control. By the time they all had it together, this member moved to Cali, this person moved over here, this person got a job and no longer around and had to do this. Life happens. While you're sitting around trying to be perfect, assuming that your window is going to be there when you're ready, that's not true. Life happens. And so fuck perfectionism. If it's good enough, take advantage of the interest and the opportunity that you have right now. Worry about being perfect later. Because what's the point in being perfect if you ain't got no opportunity?
That's a bar. You know, sometimes you just hear them and you like, yeah, that's a t-shirt.
That was it.
That's a t-shirt.
Yeah. It's true. Like, people think that, oh, just because I'm perfect. Nah. It's imperfect people who get opportunities all the time. They do the best with what they got.
Yep.
And then they fix it as they go.
Yep.
Y'all want to be perfect before you take advantage of the opportunity, assuming the opportunity is going to keep coming, and they don't.
Yeah. They're gonna dry up.
Yeah.
As things change, opportunities change.
Yeah.
And the people those opportunities are looking for changes.
Thank you.
So it's not always gonna be you.
No. Yeah, man. So that's number 7. Okay. So we'll take a break and we'll be right back.
Right.
While I got y'all here, I want to give you a quick reminder that my first 3 books have been repressed and are available again on waitlist.net. Book number 1, Word is Blog, Volume 1. This book is a collection of some of my best blogs and writings online, assembled into book form. Second book is Adventures in Counterculture, The Making of Adventures in Counterculture. This book is about my 2011 album titled Adventures in Counterculture. This book talks about the 4-year period that it took me to make that album, the personal and artistic changes that it took. If you're into some artistic reading, this is for you. And then the third book, which is available again, is What a Night, a book about the worst shows of my career. This book is, as it says, it's a book about the worst shows of my career, but it's actually a pretty funny book. Some stories in here are just tragic or bugged out, but overall, this book will have you cracking up. So if you need some light reading, something that will just make you laugh, and if you've ever wondered what happens on the road with artists, pick up this book. All 3 are available, $10 each. However, you can get all 3 of them for just $25 right now. If you want them signed, please put some instructions in the special instructions box and ask me to sign them, and I'll get them signed before I get them out to you. And I think they might have a checkbox for all 3 that allows you to get them signed. So that's it for now. Back to the show.
All right.
Word.
Super duty tough work.
We back,
y'all. As per usual. This week we're talking about avoiding perfectionism. Follow up / piggyback off of last week's episode, which was highly received.
Highly. People liked it. People liked it a lot.
Yeah. And so this week we're talking about how to avoid perfectionism. And we got 3 more bullet points to go. Word. Number 8 bullet point is that fear comes in many disguises. And for me, this is one of my favorite sayings, because perfectionism often is, if you take the robe of perfectionism off, underneath it is fear.
The emperor has no clothes.
Right. Exactly. It's like the wolf in sheep's clothing. You know, you take off that sheep uniform. You're like, oh, it's a wolf under there. Perfectionism is like that. It looks like perfectionism, but when you really undress it, it's fear.
Yeah.
We don't like to admit that we're afraid of, not having it, afraid of not being appreciated, afraid of flopping, afraid of putting our best into something and it not hitting its mark.
Yeah. That's hard.
Yeah. When you start getting into that world of fear, it becomes very easy to sit on your work. Like, yeah, I'm working hard on this, but what if people don't like it? What if it just is the tree that falls in the forest when no one is around? You know what I mean? What if no one appreciates it? Did I waste my time?
Yeah, that's hard as an artist, man.
Yeah.
Like that can scare the shit out of you, especially if you're a new artist and you haven't been proven
Yeah.
yet, you know. And even as an older artist, if you had success, and it's like, do people still care?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what if I drop this joint and like nobody fucking buys it? You know what I'm saying? Like, and we used to go through this shit like on tour all the time. Like,
Yes.
what if nobody comes?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
What if nobody shows up? That first, like, that time between sound check and doors.
Yep. You're
That's some of
staring
the
at the
most-
front door, hoping
that's some
somebody
of the-
come out.
Man, that's some of the most anxious I've
bro.
ever been, especially when you headlining.
Oh,
Bro.
that used to kill me on the first tour we did. I'd be sitting there like, yo, I can't be next to this door when the
Go
door's open.
crazy.
Because I'm looking
Yeah.
like, where the people at?
Right.
And then I'm sitting there like, damn, nobody messing with me. This is bad. And then I start getting anxiety. My stomach start turning. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
this is bad. But yeah, it's fear.
Mm-hmm.
It's fear. But here's the thing, man. Like, you have to get to a place with your art to where you say it's better to finish it and conquer the fear than it is to sit on it and let fear kick my ass.
Right.
Every year that you don't put that out is a year that fear wins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we try to justify it in our minds. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the right moment.
Just,
You know?
I mean, we went through it with your record last year. Remember, you were like, then all the streaming came. You were like, I don't know. I was like, man, put the fucking record out.
Yeah, man. And it was fear. It was fear. It was fear.
Because you
I
had
can
never
say it now.
Because you had never done what you did this time around
Right.
to promote it.
Yeah.
So you had
everything
never
was new.
invested as much into it, right? On your
Right.
own.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, you were apprehensive. And I, one day I was just like, wait a minute. I'm the only person who can't tour.
Right. What
You
waiting
weren't
on?
touring anyway.
Right.
Man, put your
Yeah.
fucking record out.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to hear no more mixes. Put the shit out. This man sent me 30 mixes for the album. I lost track.
Just
Yes.
stop listening to it. Like,
Like,
just responded like, yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds great, man. All right.
Just
Is
put
this-
the shit out.
Please? Is this
Yeah.
ever going to see the light of day? So you can move on to the next album, you know? But fear, that's all it is. We all deal with that, you know? I mean, I'm not exempt from it, but you mitigate fear by like practicing your craft. Ain't no shortcuts.
Right.
No shortcuts. So now, like, even though he was apprehensive on that last record because he hadn't done what he did, next time around he ain't gonna have no fear.
Oh, nah.
He
ready.
like, oh, I know what to expect. I know what to do. I know where I messed up. I know where I can improve on now. I've learned some lessons. Nah, I ain't sitting on shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it's gonna be. But he had to take that leap.
All right.
And that's how you handle it. But the perfectionism is just one of the disguises of fear. That's number 8. Number 9, and we spoke about this a little bit earlier. 9th way to avoid perfectionism is that if you can't measure it, if you don't put it out. We've been talking about this idea of growth and progress and getting better. How do you measure these things? You have to share something in order to compare it to something.
Mm-hmm.
Like working on the same album, putting all that creative energy into one thing or one project for 2, 3, 4 years. Yeah, that album sounds great. But if it doesn't come out, you have no way to measure what you did over that 4-year period or that 1-year period. And if you don't have this thing out there shared with the public, finished, you can't make an honest assessment of where you are and where you need to go.
Right. So you don't know if you're improving. You don't know if you've gotten worse. You don't know. You have no idea. You have no idea.
No clue. And so you have to put it out. You have to share it and get past the perfectionism just so that you can start measuring your growth.
Mm-hmm.
Something. You have to establish where you are, but you don't know where you are because you ain't shared nothing.
All right.
All right. That was number 9. Number 10. And this is a simple one, but we're going to say it like this. The 10th tip or way to avoid perfectionism is to understand that simple and done beats complex and incomplete.
I don't know. You might have to.
People in the back.
The people in the back might not have heard that one.
Hey,
This
back
might
row.
be a mic drop.
Back row. People in the back. Simple and done beats complex and incomplete. Damn it. How many times we got to say this, man? Nobody care how complicated your shit is.
Right.
Finish the shit. Finish it. Put it out. And just be like, all right, I did that.
Mm-hmm.
But
now let's move on to something else.
Move on.
Yeah.
Because while you're doing that, the same person who you may think is imperfect, who wasn't afraid to put themselves out there, though flawed, though imperfect, people love their shit.
Right.
And you be looking at their shit like, man, I'm so much better than them. I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
But you ain't done nothing
Yeah.
because you worried about being perfect instead of being done. That person said, you know what, man? I just need to be done.
Yeah. Yeah. I just need to get it out.
That's
and
it.
You sitting over there like, I'm better, but wait till they see.
Ooh, just
wait till they see. Just wait. Got your Birdman hands going.
Wait till they get a load of me. You know what I mean? Like a fucking villain. Meanwhile, doing nothing.
Right.
Doing nothing. And a person who is not as talented as you has fucked around and surpassed you because though you were superiorly talented, they had no fear.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens too is the more they share their work, the more they know what works.
Right. Right. The more feedback you get, the more you know how to flip it and bounce it and add, take away, add little things, little spice here, little sprinkle of seasoning here, Just like making a cake, man. Just like making a dish, like you don't not taste your food. You know what I'm saying? While you cooking.
Exactly.
You got to taste. Yeah, you got to taste your food while you cooking,
Yeah, listen to some customer feedback too. Hey, this is a little too salty. Okay. Duly noted.
Yeah.
Just only half
anytime
salt.
I cook something, I have Taya or the kids like, yo, taste this and let me know if I'm missing something. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, that lets you know instead of being like, yo, the ingredients gotta be perfect and I gotta taste it every time and I can't share with y'all until it's perfect. And nah, man.
Yeah.
Let somebody else check out that dish.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Word.
That's it for this week, folks. I'm gonna read these back. Avoiding perfectionism. 10 tips. Number 1, compromise with yourself, fam. Number 2, realize nobody cares like you do. Number 3, focus on done, not perfect. Number 4, set deadlines. Number 5, trust outside opinions. Number 6, assume you will always be better today than you were yesterday. Number 7, windows aren't open forever. Number 8, fear comes in many disguises. Number 9, you can't measure progress if you don't release something. And number 10, simple and done beats complex and incomplete.
Word.
That is it for this week, y'all. Hope y'all got something out of this. Stay tuned, for more spine tingling adventures of the most infamous podcast on planet Earth. Hopefully I'll have an announcement about the next book soon.
Word.
And it's for y'all. It's for y'all. And
people.
For the people, man. And we'll see y'all next week. Word. Peace.
Thank you for listening to Super Duty Tough Work. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. Follow the podcast on SoundCloud. Peace.
Shoot, I got styles already that's more complex that nobody know about. I mean, super duty tough work.